What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down on what really moved it today and what shorts did. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So SoFi went up 1.41% to 25.05 the low, 26.10 the high, and kind of low volume. So 55 million shares being traded, 76 is the average. During the pre-market, things were looking pretty a-okay, that things were going to move higher. Then as per usual, as soon as the market opens, you had a massive amount of selling from institutions. I'm not really sure why, because there wasn't really any macro data points during that time frame to justify that. I feel like some institutions potentially could be reacting to SoFi's technicals, because at that time it was below that 10-day moving average, so kind of signaling momentum was somewhat diminishing. But still, I think a lot of institutions just kind of severely overreact with SoFi. But aside from that, though, we did have one data point, consumer inflation expectations, that came in at 3.2, forecast of 3.1, but that came out at 10 a.m., well past this dip right here. So it didn't really influence the market all that much. On a side note, one thing that I think a lot of people are just waiting on the edge of their seat for is this right here. So the Goldman Sachs Tech Conference. So this is going to be coming out in roughly around 1 hour's time frame from now. Anthony is going to be speaking, and hopefully he unveils some good Easter eggs on potentially what could be coming. So that's going to be most likely a good catalyst going into at least hopefully tomorrow. And it did hold up to be fairly true. Like I've stated in the past, historically, every time SoFi does have some fireside chat, SoFi closes in the green. So definitely good to see. One thing I do want to share with you that was posted by Tanner is website traffic. And even though this isn't a 100% guarantee, but similarly, looking back, this is usually a good indication of member growth. So looking at SoFi for August, we did have 22.41 million for web traffic. And so even the prior month was 22.4. So we had pretty much back-to-back record numbers, beat it by 0.01 for August from July. So good to see. So most likely this is going to result in massive amounts of member growth. One thing to take note of, though, is this big announcement that came out about that Josh Allen partnership. That is like, we're at the beginning of September. So potentially that could really just push September numbers just to the moon. And I very rarely use to the moon type of wording. So yeah, that'll be good stuff. So of course, members going higher, products go up, everyone's happy, deposits go up, and yeah, everyone's definitely the life cycle of SoFi does continue, and us as investors, we get even happier, because then SoFi will get closer and closer to that 30 and then potentially even higher. Aside from that, though, shorts did return 174,000 shares, 9.04% of the free float being shorted. Works out to be 106.49 million shares overall being shorted. I guess whoever is shorting based on the life cycle of SoFi, they're not going to be happy at the end of the day, but someone has to lose, right, in the stock market eventually. So glad it is going to be shorts. And just generally over the last 3 months, they've lost a ton of money, just over about $1 billion. So good to see. Looking at the options, 41 million in calls, 12 million in puts, and then 46% of all the options being done today were bullish in nature. From a bull standpoint, seems like the consensus is that it's going to be between that 26 and 27, potentially even 27.50 by the end of this week. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub between that 24 and 25. So there's a lot more upside in my opinion. And plus, I think just based on everything, a lot of big money was getting in. So the reason why I think SoFi had somewhat lower volume today is algorithmic trading wasn't really kicking in. And that's something that SoFi has been, I don't know why it hasn't really been affecting SoFi, but it's been affecting a lot of other stocks in the market. Just algos and SoFi, maybe they're not linked or something. I'm not really sure how that does truly work behind the scenes, but looking at some of the transactions on the secondary market, you're seeing a lot of big ones. So just based on, since the market did close, we're having a $26 million transaction, 26, 16.7, 1.04, 2.1. So based on all of this, this is absolutely insane. So definitely pause the video, look at this, but just going back over here, back-to-back $26 million transactions. There has to be some optimism for this conference that's going to be kicking off in 1 hour that SoFi and Anthony is going to unveil crypto. So definitely good to see. Dark pool, we're seeing some transactions after hours, so 2.7 million, 4.5. And that seems to be the only ones after hours. So secondary market definitely very popular today, with it closing exactly at 25.96. It is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 24.25 is going to be a strong support. I'm looking at the 1-day chart on a side note, and then 26.54, that's going to be a target to really watch for tomorrow. Quickly moving to the 4 hour. So for those of you that want to day trade, swing trade, and whatever else, ultimately it is trading right on this R1. So 25.96, that's going to be a key pivot. Best case scenario, it closes above that. Then that way 26.50 is going to be the next strong target. And then 25.10 is going to be that next strong support. So just kind of watch for that. Most likely we will be getting some new ratings dependent on what Anthony does say at that conference. So maybe we might be getting some more bullish ones coming out. And then aside from that though, on the actual chart itself, you pretty much see from the market position just a lot of willing buyers. Looks like roughly around that 25.70 and also about that 24.90. Those are very, very strong walls. So a lot of buyers at that stage. And right now it was able to successfully close above that 10-day moving average and already above all the other ones that I generally like to look at. So the 50, 100, and 200. Because of all this crazy volatility that's happened over the last week, you see stochastic RSI somewhat neutral. So it is about 40. So it's not really overbought nor oversold. So it's somewhat neutral in nature. So yeah, good things are hopefully coming for SoFi. So let me know your thoughts on SoFi. Do you think Anthony is going to drop a massive bomb and just say, hey, SoFi is getting crypto, blah, 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 maybe in the next couple, like if he says Q4, like I've mentioned in previous videos, that's like 2.5 weeks away. So if he says it's coming in Q4, like that's just a hop, skip, and a jump away, and the market's going to really start pricing that in, probably more than what it's kind of already done, right? So yeah, hopefully we get some good news. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon and get buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.